Battle Fury build. And now Juggernaut has to look at this Battle Fury build to have a tool to deal with the PL. But if he does choose to go that route, he's quite a bit slower. And PL is a hero that you look at the Final Tribe, and they're going to have tons of tempo. They're going to have the ability to push onto your side of the map, kill your towers early. But the PL is a fast, like a lot of these agi carries that we've been talking about, is a much faster hero in this patch because you can just build 3 or 4 Wraith Bands.
Yeah, the acceleration is pretty impressive. The other thing to look at when you look at Vega's lineup is after that Spirit Breaker pick came out, notice how they've avoided any sort of long stuns. They're more about this kind of battle of attrition and whittling people down because, of course, Spirit Breaker, the Bulldoze ability, gives huge stats resistance. And we've seen how it can ruin heroes like Beastmaster, if that was available to their opponents, chance to actually initiate, because you just tank everything. I think Solo done it on the first day. He would literally just run into like Beastmaster ultimates on purpose.
Oh, sure. And it's even, you talk about it against single target abilities. It's even more powerful, in my opinion, against these AoE teamfight combos put together by the Sand King, right? Because all of a sudden you have one hero that gets a chance to sort of disrupt that spell combo on the inside. And it's something that you have to learn to play against, right? You're used to when you use, when you tornado 4 or 5 heroes as Invoker, you're used to all 5 of them coming down at the same time, and you get the rhythm of that spell combo in your head. Now, all of a sudden, with status resistance, you got to deal with the fact that one of these heroes is going to be recovering faster. Changes your timing, makes the whole combo shorter. It's just, I don't know. I don't like status resistance as a concept, but it makes the Spirit Breaker pick extremely powerful here.
Especially with the movement speed as well. It just enables him to go deep. It used to be he plays plus 4/5 Spirit Breakers, and from behind it was almost impossible. You would literally just charge in and die, right? It was just suicide. But now with the inclusion of that new ability, you have a chance to sustain at the beginning of the fight and be more useful, even if you're not snowballing.
So I think TFT are we're going to see what Vega Squadron ban here. I like a Lina ban here. I think TFT absolutely have to have something with this 5th pick to deal with the PL. I think you need AoE damage on their side. And I think, Lina is a hero that both Chessie and Era back in the day when he was their mid are very, very comfortable with. I just see nothing on the side of TFT that will deal with this PL if he gets on.
Yeah, especially seeing as actually Vega are very smart about this. Kezu did ban out the Magnus in the first phase, so they had their eyes on these type of heroes from the get-go. There's always been this focus on preventing TFT from getting a death ball lineup by the looks of it. And this is very early tower aggression for Vega.
It's very early tower aggression. It's very, very strong against a lot of the mids that are left in the pool. And I think that's one of the big impetuses for picking the hero. It's something that's going to enable them to get these tower trades. And that's something that we saw used against Final Tribe when they played Liquid yesterday. It was Final Tribe had this pushing lineup, but Liquid picked a lineup that could at least get tower trades. So yes, we understand you're going to be really powerful around 12 to 15 minutes. You're going to be pushing onto our side of the map, but we're at least going to get something in exchange. Okay. There we go.
That's one way to get rid of PL illusions for the mid game. And I like this.
Whoa.
I love this because I was looking at Vega and I was thinking, right, then Kezu's done something smart here because he picks this Pugna. And I think it's partly because he knows how much TFT they love picking Lina, right? So you're trying to bait them into that because it's not a bad matchup for Pugna, but this is gonna crucify the Pugna. Well, it's more even, but like the chances you get put out because of nets.
The big difference is like Pugna. Yeah, Pugna has to be super careful, right? Because if he uses that decrep, that's not an escape against the Meepo. If he uses that decrep with multiple Meepo crowns around, he's just gonna get poofed to death. So that, oh boy, you do have to reconsider. I do think Pugna can do well enough early on in lane against the Meepo, but man, oh man, you have the threat of the Spirit Breaker charging across the map. That's kind of a nasty Meepo pick.
That's the scary part, is Pugna is really focused on this one-on-one scenario to decrypt for effectiveness, but then you think, okay, the Spirit Breaker is going to come out of nowhere. You're already dealing with multiple people in the lane, and I think you're right, like, you can get a good start, but Pugna needs to maintain a lead over a Meepo. Meepo, with the XP gains, how do you do that?
Let's not get too carried away. You're looking at this lineup, you're going, okay, you got AoE control from the Sand King, you got the Tombstone coming out from the Undying, which, Meepo should be able to kill that, fine. You got Grimstroke, who can threaten the multiple clones at once, link a Meepo clone together with somebody else. is not. I don't know that this is like a GG Meepo pick.
It's not totally, yeah.
It could absolutely snowball in this game and just destroy everybody. But if Vega do okay in the lanes, they're going to have the tools to deal with this Meepo in the mid.
I think the other thing that's fair to highlight here is we haven't really seen Meepo since he got... Well, I'd say he got slightly nerfed. It was more like this giant hammer smashed him in the face and he's trying to pick his pieces up and put himself back together.
I mean, Meepo is just... Oh boy. He got, I think, sort of a very unintentional mega buff at around the time the patch came out because people were running him together with Luna. And Meepo together with the Luna aura was just absolutely ruined. You know, they had like an 80% pub win rate for a while. Meepo alone, though, yeah, I don't think he has not gotten a lot of love, and that's putting it very generously. Poor Sheepstick. I've felt so bad for her in like the last 6 patches that Meepo's just been completely ignored.
That's how she felt. She's like, this hero is great. I'm winning game. Gabe, what have you done?
Yeah, it's like, well, basically she's been like, Ice Frog hates me. I don't think she's wrong.
It's kind of the thing that's interesting to highlight here as well is Wraith Bands have become incredibly strong. That was one of the biggest reasons this hero got such a big boon is on top of the buffs. Think of how well this hero uses it. Suddenly, he still has Wraith Bands, but his agi game for a start is abysmal now.
Yeah, and that's people don't remember, but when Abed first started playing this hero, he would get like 2 and sometimes even 3 Dragon Lances. That's how valuable stats were.
Well, look at Boss.
Boston, a little bit of danger here. He's going to be out okay, I think.
A lot of aggression. Pexu getting low though.
Here feeding first blood.
Oh, yep, the bash coming through. Era. RNG working for him there. And to secure the first blood on that target especially, at least the Undying has the benefits to come back to lane full mana. But still, giving over the first blood to a Spirit Breaker, I mean, this is one of those pos 4s that can use that gold very well, very early on.
All right, so the block is going to come out a little bit in favor of the Pugna here in the mid lane. These guys range creep in the high ground. The first couple waves are just so critically important here. He's going to be able to keep Tressie off the creep wave.
Yeah, the best chess you can do is trade evenly in a favorable scenario, but yeah, you're going to be running Never Blasters like this. Should be pointed out in the bot lane, there was a D-Ward that came out. They actually blocked the other camp to make sure there's no pulls. Undying in the top lane in the meantime, though. That damage. Don't mess with Poison Touch.
Oh, man. The hero is just... It's just disgusting right now, what you can do with it. The utility is just off the chart. And even against I mean, watch what happens in this lane. Even against a hero in Undying that used to be a lane dominator. Like, watch Dazzle's positioning. I mean, he's literally playing in the face of an Undying at level 1. That's just not something that you used to see.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. It should be highlighted, actually, the effectivity when you combine this with any other slow, because, I mean, just look at the ball. Between Dazzle and the ball, those slows keep you in range long enough that you lose about half your HP pool if you get hit by the Poison Touch. Well, Pexu's trying to be frustrated here. He did bring a lot of mangoes, but if he doesn't have a big impact in the first 2-3 minutes, this lane really goes TFT's favor.
And you very, very smartly pointed out that D-Ward. That's something, MNT just went for that, just went up there and tried to control the lane equilibrium, but that camp, he had to put down another sentry to get that back in their favor. But as a result, they're going to have to stay on the creep waves here. That's a nice start for the Juggernaut here.
Yeah, they've changed this camp in an interesting way. That if you just cut a tree right here, you can actually pull from either angle. So both sides of the lane can get a good advantage in terms of pulls from that.
Oh, that is a net gain for the Dire offlane, by the way. That
say again?
Change. That is a net gain for the Dire offlane.
Absolutely. Look at this so far, actually.
Look at what they're able to do here.
Meepo's lingering behind the Pugner a little bit, but he does have the second Meepo now. This is where things can begin to turn.
This is very, very smart. Notice how that Arrow went up there to try and prevent the creep wave aggroing onto the neutrals, and he was successful. So he's going to get his carry a couple more last hits under the tower there.
I think he just prayed to the gods for a bash. He actually hasn't gone back to the Orb of Venom. A lot of supporters don't really see it as worthwhile unless you start out with the item, and of course, because you need that Style Shield, you'll rarely see any support start with an Orb of Venom at the moment. In fact, it's arguable. Like, I think the only hero that I've seen just try and justify going back for it is sometimes a Monkey King, but we don't really see support Monkey King right now.
No, unless you're Pablo.
Well, Pablo, I think the other person I've seen run it is Infamous. Infamous is the only other team I've ever seen run it in like the last 3-4 months.
Yeah, I mean, the Pablo Meteor Hammer support Monkey King was a sight to behold, but don't try this at home, kids.
Yes, it's a very specific
scenario. A little bit low up here in the top lane, but he's going to be fine, and he's off to a fairly strong start there.
I mean, you say that, but look at his regen. Look how much he's already burnt through. He needs more ferried out to him, and he has got some tangos on the way, along with Wraith Band.
But he's got a dazzle against him, and look at that courier. Yeah, they're trying. They know the Radiant side knows that they have to contest the arrival of that courier.
Actually, Madara even decides he's going to need a salve as well. This is just time where Mage will not have the courier himself, but he has already got his bottle, and he's got to be feeling pretty confident against Jesse right now.
He's got a nice. He can get the last crypt in the lane there and just pick up the nice arcane runes, so he's going to have a good deal of sustain.
The awkward part about this for Chessie especially is you can't just commit to the jungle. You're going to have to be present in lane, or someone is, because it's a Pugna.
Yes, because if you're not present in lane, your tower's gone by like 8 minutes. That's just something as a you cannot lose that tier 1 mid tower by 7 or 8 minutes. Expected doing it. You have to have a plan.
Charging in the bot lane, maybe next time. Inkspo to get out of range of the Blade Fury, but it pops before the Blade Fury ends. He will be fine nonetheless. Salves up. A little bit of aggression, but they actually aren't buying. Well, they've got a sentry. They just don't want to commit into it because they know that Kezu's holding onto one as well at all times. Meanwhile, top.
You've got to do something about this mid lane tower.
You've got to do something about top. It's going to get worse. Pexu's being ran down here. Doppelganger's going to come out. They're going to turn around, go to Hanskin. He's out of mana as well. Oof. Soul Rip is used defensively. He can't actually use it aggressively, which is a shame because actually that's one thing we haven't talked about is the combo with the PL, because the amount of damage you do with Soul Rip.
And he waited for the PL illusions to be out and got a pretty good heal from the Soul Rip there.
The crux is he has gone for more points of the decay. It's interesting. I've seen a lot of Undyings do this when they're laned with PL recently, but it feels like you're not maximizing what you can do. Usually because you don't want to commit the Doppelganger unless it's defensively or it's a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem, is that early on, PL is going to be holding on to that Doppelganger. You're not going to be using it.
Oh, Hanskin?
Trying to get kills.
Hanskin might be going down here. Doppelganger forward. Nope, he's going to be fine. Dazzle. Reasonable hero. There's a charge incoming as well. Pexu is going to go for the TP out. It's going to be close. Oh, the right clicks get him. The Shadow Wave will finish one with Madara. He switches targets perfectly. He doesn't have the Doppelganger.
No.
He already used it. He'll be able to walk away though. No poison touch.
And he's hurting for regen. He's very low on mana as well.
Yeah, well look at this. Eris sees him. He doesn't have the mana for a charge. They knew that he was going to make a move towards that shrine. Count his lucky stripes that he gets to live.
Okay. Yeah.
That could have been catastrophic.
Spiritbreaker has more mana there. He's in trouble.
Hey, you're a Spirit Breaker and you're not carrying a mango at all times. Come on. Come. I mean, he needs those boots, especially with the change to charge now.
Oh yeah. Movement speed's everything.
Movement speed is king. Most supports even building into win late. It's just so they can move that tiny bit faster and keep up with these pesky agi carries.
So yeah, this is one of those. This is what I was talking about with the Beastmaster strat. I like that rotation. I really like this rotation by Frost to just go ahead and go top at level 4 and take that tower. You know, the Dire sides, they've got 50% damage on this bottom tier 1, but that Dire top tier 1 is just, it's so much more significant in terms of map value strategically. But
absolutely,
it's going to partially that is what they needed to partially offset the fact that the Pugna is able to take their mid tier 1 so much earlier. They are setting it up so that Meepo's going to have the option to farm the Dire jungle. That's very smart.
He needs that option as well because you are enabling your Meepo, but to do so you're enabling the Pugna in Vegas draft, and that just bridges the mid game fairly well for them. The only downside for them at this point is that PL has been forced to invest in a lot of regen so far.
Yeah, and again, you can see, look at the wards being placed. Like, you can see the importance that both teams are placing on this upper left quadrant of the map. Yeah, everybody knows that this is going to come down to who can control the Dire jungle, because otherwise TFT is going to have a very hard time securing farm for this Meepo. A little bit of action here top.
Yep, they're going to silence Frost for like a millisecond. Phantom's Embrace, guys. Stop complaining about that spell. Mage?
They don't see Mage.
He's here. Goes on Hanskin. It's a good shot at a kill, but the problem is Hanskin's the one they want. Life Drain coming out. He's not 6, so he can't interrupt this. Shallowgrave's going to be there. Did get leveled into. They're going to move across to Dazzle, clean him up. The TP out from the Beastmaster will be successful, and Dazzle gives his life for it.
Yeah, I think that's a trade that they're okay with. They're going to buy Meepo a couple minutes. He's up to level 9 now, so I really like this here by Final Tribe. This is, you have to have a very specific plan for what's going to happen when this tier 1 goes down, and it looks like they have one.
Yeah, just invest in the Meepo. They know the way that Juggernaut can be played at the moment, he can be this mid-game kind of tempo carry to an extent.
And 4 Wraith Bands and Brown Boots on the Meepo, 3 on the Juggernaut, 3 on the PL. There you go.
Like for Wraith Bands.
2-0, folks.
None for the Handsome fan, though. I think he's the most consistent Beastmaster for going Vlad's first I've seen so far.
Note to self. Oh, everybody's going Vlad's first now. And it's actually, Vlad's is like a value item in this patch. I've seen now Brewmaster's going Vlad's first.
Oh, that's become a very good item. Dazzle, a little bit far forward. Hanskin. He has got the Shallow Grave, so waste their time going for the TP out. See ya. Lack of stuns is a problem for Vega, as we just saw there.
That's my Simon. That's a very good read.
I mean, they only have 1 stun. They literally only have 1 stun.
Yep. But this is going to be, so many 7-2-0 games are going to go like this. It's going to be like, all right, fine. Look at this, 4 Observer Wards by the dire side in this top left corner of the map. If you spot me the one on the right side of the mid ramp. I mean, this is both teams recognizing just how important this area is. And we got to get some, come on guys, we got to get some counter wards in here. You should know about this.
Meepo has the Blink Dagger now. Oh, Frost, silence stop. He just needs to get rid of his Prep Fight's there. They can't get away.
Oh no, this is...
Dazzle was trying to get silence out, but the Burrow Strike perfectly timed from Kezu to interrupt that.
Yeah, I guess they might not have understood just how much information that Dire had about that area.
Yeah, there's a lot of wards. They'll realize it now, but how much do you want to invest in sentries?
Meepo level 11, he's doing okay, but the map is getting tight very, very quickly.
He has that blink, but right now, so far, he's just using it to maximize his farm, which is fine, but in the next 5 minutes, if you haven't got involved in a fight, you're not going to have any tiles left outside the base.
Yeah.
Moving in, there it is. He goes aggressive, but Burrow Strike straight away. And they have nothing to do here. Primal Roar comes out onto the Grimstroke, but look at the Soul Rip heals. They're finally going to turn around. The Hansa fans slow him down, and he can't move away quick enough. And Soulby as well, charging from area to try and disrupt. The Burrow Strike interrupts the Never Strike. They can't get rid of Hamster Fan. They're going to turn around. Frost with the Blade Fury doing a lot of damage here. It's just tanking in the middle, and they're taking so much damage. Going to get maybe next time low. There's the Omnisan coming through. Get 1, maybe get 2 kills on the back foot. There's going to be a return kill on Era. They will clean up Kezu as well.
What a fight, and look how tanky that Vlad's makes the Beastmaster so early. Jonas and Fine just tanked so many spells there, and they're right back up to full HP for the Shrine. That's such a good fight for TFT.
And they can now go D-Ward if they want, which they should have some sentries coming out, especially with the gold now on Hanskin. It should be obvious. But
I thought when they used Roar on the Grimstroke and they didn't get him, and it was basically Jonas and Fan split on the high ground there against 4 heroes from the Vega side, I thought that fight was over. But that early Vlad just feels so powerful right now.
It's not just the Vlads. Remember, the new passive, Ransack as they've called it, just steals HP. It's just healing. Constant healing for a Meepo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So that's a very good point. The Meepo has a lot more sustain in that fight than he ordinarily would as well. Okay. Or that he would in previous patches.
We're getting a few mini cutouts. You want to quickly restart?
Let's restart the call. Let's restart the call.
Not as impressive as the original.
All right, folks. Let's get Alan back in. There we go.
See if that's any better. All right.
Yep, much better. It's all right. They didn't miss out on your big words, Alan. They just missed out on maybe an if or a but.
All right, little smoke play here coming out from TFT.
And I like that Chessie has just identified how easily he can take fights now. He just wants to be constantly aggressive. In fact, they could sneak into the Roche pit if they actually had Beastmaster here as well.
I mean, they gave him that space that he absolutely needed, and I think they were teetering on the brink here, but they're going to try and retake control of this upper left quadrant of the map here.
This is the deciding point.
Vega isn't in great position here to contest or even necessarily take a trade.
No, Kezu's just split pushing as much as possible, and they need him if they want to take any fights. Look at this charge in, though. Nice doppelganger. Madara can try and make his escape. Should be fine. They'll just invade the jungle and take control, though. Get rid of the stack as well.
Other words down now.
is under attack.
Pretty defensively as well. And look at this. It just sets up for Frost. They're pushing this tier 2 top. And once that's down, they can easily look to turn towards Roche.
I like that a lot, although they can get... I don't know still if they understand the extent to which Dire has their side of the map warded. They could get burned on Roche here because Vega's going to have excellent information about where they are and the paths that they're taking at Roche pit.
Well, it depends. If they come from Vega's jungle, there's really no vision. That's kind of the crux.
Yeah, but it's process of elimination, right? I mean, you have so many wards on their side of the map.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and look for a pick off on the Kezi before they go in. They just can't risk the big Burrow Strike Epicenter combo.
I like that.
It's the only thing you're threatened by in that Roche, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, a Tombstone can be frustrating here, but if you can't stun him up, who's going to fight against this Meepo right now? Answer? No one.
Meepo's decent progress towards E-Blade right now. That you talk about making the Pugner reluctant. He's going to feel very, very squishy.
Oh yeah, super scared about it. And they could easily do this Roche without really taking any damage as well, seeing as you have got that Vlad in your Handsome Fan. You can already see both teams squaring off, but the side of TFT are moving towards the favorable area because Vega, as you said, have eyes on TFT's side of the Roche pit. Oh, moving in, gonna go next to Grimstone, gonna get low and just go bye-bye. Epicenter being channeled, Kenzie wants to go in, but Mage stunned up, can't help right now. The Epicenter through does a lot of damage, and now Salagrave goes down to one. PL, Primal Roar is gonna go down. Chessie does get eliminated as well. The buyback comes out. Meepo knows he can still fight. Mage almost dead here. Frost trying to chase through. He has nothing left. He reused the Omni Slash. He's gonna be stunned up, get low, they give it Undying, and then we'll get rid of the Juggernaut in return as well. But guess what?
They went awfully aggressively on the Undying there. That's a little unusual.
Yeah, you don't need that kill.
Chessie approached that fight, but you know, again, he's slightly underestimating the AoE damage potential coming out from Vega's side. They can threaten multiple clones, and you only have Grave on one of them.
The good news for Vega though is, well, they forced the buyback on Meepo, and Kezu's still alive. So instead of going immediately into the pit, even with the Epicenter on cooldown, Chessie just goes back to farming. Yeah,
but that's a value buyback, right? Because Meepo right now, this is a time that Meepo cannot afford to be off of the map.
Absolutely. And in fact, you look at his gold. When we checked him not even a minute ago, he was around the same number. So he didn't really lose out too much. Yes, no. He actually had to gain a lot in that last fight, but he'll be fine with this. Like you said, he has to be on the map at all times at this stage of the game.
And it was also, remember, a change that was made about 6 months. Early 17s patches that early buyback is now relatively very cheap, right? 15-minute buybacks are really value. So if you've got a hero like Meepo, if you got a hero like Animate that just got a Battle Fury, you buy back and farm.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw yesterday, it was usually the Necrophos was the condition for anyone buying back. But even when that's not in the game, you can still find value this early. I'm trying to find value. Frost, he actually almost has his Yasha. This is important because we've seen how he sometimes gets kited in these fights. Once that's online, he can just run down anyone in these fights, actually.
Meepo has got the level cushion that you want him to have in this game. He just bought his Eagle Song, so the stats are going to be there, but he definitely is not snowballing in this. He doesn't have that big a lead over Pugna net worth-wise. PL is farming decently well, has his Diffusal Blade online, so these Dire heroes are ready to fight.
Yeah, the question is whether you're going to be given the open, and the argument is if both sides farm, who benefits more here? Because Frost, he's not going for this farming build. He can't afford to. When you get a Meepo on your team, it doesn't really leave much on the map for anyone else.
And I really like this, by the way. I like this decision here, all right, by the Yonosum Fan Beastmaster. He's finished his book 1. He actually has a pipe in his hotbar. He understands that the AoE damage potential is what's really, really hurting them in that last fight. They graved one of the Meepos, but they didn't quite have the sustain to keep all of them alive. That pipe is going to make a huge difference. Of course, he's just now starting toward it.
Yeah, they want to actually try and help his pacing towards that new item by finding a few kills. Kezu would be the perfect pick-off here.
What a smoke play here. I think Vega know, though.
But they do have the high ground, so Vega, please back away, all right? Don't be Anakin. They've already scanned. They know they're up there now.
Oh, yeah.
Took the Order Sentry, but that's all they're going to get. It's a decent amount of time wasted. At least Chessie has been farming. The same can be said of Madara, though. He's been the bot just shoving in. They're getting ready. Omnislash comes out. Pexy tanking the whole thing, though. The Decrepify is there. Inkswell as well means he can run away. They'll get the Tombstone at least. Inkswell tries to get a pop-off, and now Epicenter coming through. The Forest Strike connecting on a free toll because of the Soulbinder. No, it looks like they're going to run him down. Dazzle gets the Shallow Grave out, so Frost can walk it off. Hanskin won't be so lucky. The buyback comes out, the Beastmaster, and from the Grimstrike. Frost does pick up a DD, and Chessie's hanging around. Forest Strike through. He's going to get one of the Meepos low. He cannot poof away, though. They find the kill, and they have control.
I am shocked that they went for that bait. That was a blatant dangling of the Undying there, walking up to the Hawk. You know, Vega knew exactly where TFT were positioned, and TFT had been sitting there long enough that they had to know. And all of a sudden you walk in and you commit the Omni Slash on the Undying, who's already popped his ulti. He's ridiculously tanky, and the rest of Vega are in perfect position to then clean up the Meepo, who you know exactly what angle he's going to take into the fight. So that
TFT commits. Oh, Fire Strike through. Spirit Breaker went a little bit deep. Shallow Grave will come up, but that means Frost doesn't have a node. He's gone. What are you doing indeed? They're going to lose 2 more. You cannot fight without your Meepo. And as a result, they will still give up the Aegis, but they give up 2 additional lives alongside it.
That's just the young player, and TFT, you know, Aaron in particular, who's one of the veteran players in the scene, has praised Frost so much for the poise that he's shown as a young player coming over into Dota 2 and picking up the game so quickly. But that was, you know, he blinked there. That was double impatience there by Frost to initiate on the Undying in the opening engagement and then go back in the Roche pit. As the Juggernaut, the role that you're being asked to fill in this game, I don't think you can do that.
I think he felt empowered by the DD, but even if you do, you've got to keep in mind you're outnumbered, 1, and then 2, the DD was running out before Eric could even reach the pit. It's a complete waste. I think going back to that original fight,
got Omni down. There's really not much in terms of plays that you're going to be able to make there. I mean, it's one thing doing that as a support, but as a Juggernaut, if you get Aegis and if you take Aegis from them and die twice, it's still a loss.
I should also highlight that Pexu's getting ever closer to level 12, which, hold on, dying, who cares? But with the new Flesh Golem, we actually saw it come into effect on that fight around the tier 1. Because it meant that he could tank more slashes. It gave him 400 health. Level 2 gives 1,000 extra health.
Yeah, it's just making the decision to initiate on that hero even more suspect. And as we talk about the damage mitigation, you know, the Beastmaster, because of that sequence, makes basically no progress toward his pipe, and all of a sudden the Sand King now has Crimson Guard up with a Buckler on top. So he's going to have Crimson Guard Greaves to mitigate a lot of the damage coming out from TFT. You know, Omni Slash is going to tickle, and you still have no damage mitigation in sight for the Wombo combo of Vega.
Which is heading straight for your high ground. And Madara will not stop anytime soon. Yasha plus Diffusal plus 2 Wraith Bands. He hits for 166 damage and the tower will feel it. I just like the way that Sand King has transitioned, right? Like, Tidehunt is trying to become this right-click carry now. And suddenly there's this role that needs filling in terms of tank. And Sand King has moved into that. Not just Initiator anymore, but he can do a lot of sustain on the front line.
Also, I'm sorry, this Inkswell bit is stupid.
It's the real reason this hero is... Everyone was always looking at Phantom's Embrace and Stroke of Fate. It's not the problem, but Inkswell is the insane thing. Even at level 1, it's so good.
It's
Primal Roar, they're going Undying again. They're going to actually get baited into this as well. Looks at them dark, going to move through. Epicenter Forest Strike combo's huge. Meepo has gone straight away, and all of a sudden, they don't have to leave your base anymore. They can hang around.
I mean, look, this is fool me once.
Oh no, Frost, fool me twice, and suddenly you're losing everyone as Eric goes down as well. Luckily for them, they've still got tier 2s.
I mean...
Questions. So many questions right now.
What are you doing? You've initiated onto the Undying now twice in a row in big team engagements. That's not your target.
Gotta kill him before he gets that level 2 or Alan. He becomes much more dangerous. You know, sitting there absorbing damage.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is one of those that TFT is, assuming they go on to lose this, is going to sit down in between games and go, look, guys, we just need to, we're doing a lot of the right things strategically, but tactically we need to make sure that we're going on the right targets to open these. It's one of those things that we take for granted at this level of Dota, because if you can't do that properly, you have no chance of playing Dota and winning it.
Absolutely. And I just like the way Pexu's itemizing. He's not making himself too tanky. He's skirting a fine line, but so far it's just completely paid off. He's never really been at any real risk.
You can just kind of see that TFT don't really know what to do here. You just don't have any plays drawn up for them.
Yeah, they are trying to shove towards this tier 2 bot, but honestly, maybe you get that, but by the time you get it, you're going to lose another tier 3, because you're already losing that tier 2 in the top lane.
Yeah, I don't mind trying to take a trade here, but boy, you better be set to get back to that tier 3 tower, because I don't think you can... You can't trade for this, because they're going to get your shrines, and then you have absolutely nothing on the map.
Well, they did at least get the tier 1 mid as well, but it doesn't really matter much when the Aegis has already been picked up. It's got a little bit of time left on it. They're trying to wait that out before going back to fight, but that means surrendering a second lane. And it's bad enough being 1 lane down, but 2, they're at least going to try and even it up with the bot one. Meepo's here. This is the all-in. They know this is the only move left in the book. A Primal coming out on the Pexu again on the side. No, look at this Olga jumping in the epicenter Forest Strike combo. The Shallow Grave comes out, but what about the other Chessie? The other Meepo might be in trouble. He's going to heal up though because the new passive Pexu getting low is going to go down. But finally, they've just popped through Meepo, and the rest of TFT need to get out. Frost is going to lean behind. Era, Shallow Grave to protect, and Hanskin needs to make the escape. Hanskin found the TP away, should be fine. Aegis gets reclaimed, but it won't matter as they just obliterate TFT.
I mean, am I watching a replay with these fights? Are we just like watching 5 minutes ago over and over? Because that's what it looks like. It's like literally exactly the same thing is happening.
Lag. Oh. Take that fight with lag. I'm Kezi, buddy. Sure. I'm gonna admit I think it's the way your hero operates now, and his sandstorm causes problems. But honestly, I think you're right. It's like your Handsome fan has just been in his pub games. I'm going to go check his Dota buff after this. He must have just been getting punished game after game by Undyings, because there's clearly some sort of vendetta either against Pexu or against the hero.
Okay, like, so because I'm triggered and I don't want to talk about that anymore, like, check out the Juggernaut here, right? Look at the cosmetic for this, for the Blade Fury, now that it's paused. Isn't that cool?
Oh, it's pretty.
Oh, man.
Oh, look, he's actually, hey, look at the dragon. Look at him go.
Like, how talented do you have to be to do this kind of shit?
Wow.
Like, I do math, full stop. That's kind of amazing. All right.
I mean, it's a pain in the arse as well. Yours is objective.
Happy again.
Yours is objective, all right? That's kind of job is subjective, right? People are going to agree or disagree, so it's really hard. See, Alan, your job's easy. Anyone could do it. Just numbers.
It literally is, dude. I mean, I have to be good at like 2 things. I have to be good at math and talking. I mean, duh. I don't even know that I'm good at talking.
It's okay, because you get to a stage in the conversation where if you think the person's not that smart, then you just start making things up.
Exactly. Wait,
you just make up words like obliteramus.
Shut up, dude.
Statisticus. See, it's not even close to a word, but would you know?
You still need practice with this young Padawan.
I'll get there, all right?
We'll get you there.
It's just, okay, you got it easy, right? You're arguing from a position of authority, right?
No. The trick is when you make shit up, you have to make shit up with numbers, because numbers scare people.
Okay, so 120%.
Everybody thinks they know how to England.
150% of the time, PL wins this game 60% of the time.
There you go.
Yes.
Now you're Fox News.
Nailed it, like Jesus to a cross. Let's go.
All right.
Anyway. Vega won that final lane, by the way, and they are not going to slow down.
They're going to try to make a play here, and they may get the Pugna for their efforts, but he's got to back.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Your handsome fan found a different Primal Raw target.
Yeah, finally, but notice the item that he buys as he dies, right? He's like, okay, fine.
Next time.
Me. I don't have buyback anymore, but when I respawn,
I won't need it.
You're not going to do that again.
That's the case. I mean, what other stuns have you really got? You can net him in place. That won't necessarily stop him. So it's all about Spirit Breaker. And Era has proven, even with his bulldoze maxed out and his 1.4k HP pool, disappears pretty quick when they engage.
Yeah. And it just doesn't... That's the thing. That status resistance, I made something about it being super significant, but the significance of status resistance goes down a lot when they just have a lot of AoE damage potential. Again, Jonas Fan just completed that pipe, right? I really liked the decision when he decided to pivot toward it, but unfortunately that was right before they started misplaying in this sequence of engagements. If he had had that earlier, these fights would look very different.
And I'm just looking at the health pools right now and trying to figure out how TFT get through a lot of these heroes and don't die themselves. Because look at Vega.
You're going to be trying for a long time because I don't necessarily know that there's an answer.
I mean, do you want a little amusing moment? Check Aaron Hanskin's health pools. The Dazzle is more tanky than a Spirit Breaker.
Dazzle, though.
Is it Dazzle or is it the fact that the Spirit Breaker is only level 10?
I mean, is it the fact that, like, Dazzle has 2.5 strength gain per level?
That is true.
Come on.
But move cow, man. Oh, Omnislash coming out in a peg suit again. They just really want Undying out of the fight. They can't even get through. Now the Forest can be used if they want to. They can hold on to the prime roll coming out. It's going to be enough. Sandking getting low, but he tanks so much damage. They'll finally get rid of him. They lose Spirit Breaker return to get rid of the Undying as well. But Meepo is gone, and now Madara, he compels you to die. Frost running out of mana, just enough to TP away. The Decrepify actually helps him. And Hanskin, well, he's left hung and dry. He knows there's no easy way out. This Glimmer Cape runs out. Mage sees everything, and he will just blast on through you.
Yeah, there's just no play for him in these fights. I mean, this TFT lineup is built on the idea of sustain, but they've fallen so far behind on this.
Hanskin? Hanskin's gonna live.
Okay, all right, Simon. I mean, there you go, buddy.
All right, all things considered, that is actually important because that means if they come at your base or come at your jug now, you've got a shallow grave again.
I mean, sort of. Really what matters, kind of the beginning and end of the discussion is that Meepo can't stay alive through. And if Meepo can't stay alive for these fights, there's really nothing that the Juggernaut can do. He's not farming up by himself.
Absolutely. Well, he didn't go.
The Jug is behind all three cores on the side of Vega. Right now, you know, as TFT, if you have any chance of winning this game, like all of the conversation has to be centered on, is there a way for us to keep Meepo alive in the fights? I mean, Dazzle's got Grave, Dazzle's got Glimmer Cape, you've got the pipe now. Just you're looking for solution.
And I think part of the problem is that you're actually, in that last fight, Frost was one initiating. Chessie has to be the one initiating. He's got the sheep stick. He needs to immediately find a good pick-off. Instead, you've got an Omnislash running, and, well, because that's the way you're beginning the fight, instantly Vega just start juggling you.
Yeah, Frost has really jumped the gun in a couple of these scenarios, not just in the big engagement. Absolutely nothing you can do about Roche here.
Jansen fan's going to move around here. Primaror on Apexu again. But the moment he uses that Flesh Golem, he's going to be fine. Now, come through Epicenter, catches across the Jansen fan. We'll be able to clean him up. You look on the other side, Soulbind's going to be there. Chessie, he needs to get out of this very quickly. He has got the backup, but now Mage is going to suck him dry. Life Drain going in. There's a stun through. Forest Strike hits all the Meepos. Shallow Grave has been used. They've only targeted one so far. They'll switch targets to Madara. He hits like a goddamn truck. E-Blade comes out. There's a double going to escape. Kezu's going to get low, but Chessie's going to get lower and go first. The buyback out from Grimstroke. They're looking to end this game right here, right now.
Yeah, they were close there. Chessie is... this is just a very hard... These are very hard fights to play for the Meepo because the Grave Meepo is not dying. The Grave Meepo is coming out of Grave with like 50% health left because of Ransack, but by that time, there's always a second clone because of the Grimstroke, because of the AoE, the Pugna. There's always a second clone that's like at 10% health.
That's the key to all these fights. It feels like you've got to give so much credit to the way Kezu has played this game up to this point. Like, everyone's been doing their part, but he's made sure that they are always on the defensive when TFT start fighting. Well, he brings a lot of defense himself.
I don't think this is one of those where I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replay because I don't think Chessie is misplaying in these fights at all. I think this is just a really, like I said at the beginning, this was not a GG Meepo pick. This was a Meepo is going to need the four other heroes around him to make the right decisions to really realize his potential in these fights.
I think one thing to highlight, I've seen it actually go to pause on that fort. Sans come through, Fire Strike on the two. Primaror in return though. He wants Grimstroke, but he's the only one going for it. Now Chessie's going to show up. Looking for a target to Sandking. Can he get him in time? No. Cheese gets eaten. They'll turn around on him and it looks like he's in a lot of trouble. Meepo, no escape plan here. Fire Strike stuns him up. They'll change targets and Chessie is gone. Actually going to chase forward. Johansson fan, this might be your fountain, but I think you got a new teammate. Or is it an enemy? I can't tell, but you'll call GG before he can finish you off. And Madara pies in the fountain to celebrate the victory, the first game, as Vega take an early lead.
All right. Look, as TFT, you got to reset. Get the hell off the computers right now, and let's talk one another. Because this is not a game that we should